Hi friends! Welcome back to another ukulele tutorial. Today we're looking at 4 ways to play Hooked on a Feeling using 2 strumming patterns and 2 finger-picking patterns. For the easiest way to play this song, follow along pattern 1, which is a very simple strumming pattern. Then we'll move into pattern 2, which is a more advanced strumming pattern, and it even has an option for percussion. If you'd like to learn how to fingerpick this song, then follow along patterns 3 and 4. Now each of these 4 patterns consists of 4 beats, and most of the chords that are played throughout this song are held for 4 beats. So you could apply any of our 4 patterns to almost any chord in this song. The exceptions are a few chords in the chorus that are held for only 2 beats each, so we'll cover how to play these chords when we get to the chorus. At the end of the tutorial, I hope you'll join me for a play-along, where I'll play through the entire song and you can play along with me. You can follow this lesson if you have a high G or a low G. I'm playing a tenor with a low G, so just keep in mind that if you have a high G, the patterns will sound a bit different on your instrument, particularly the finger-picking patterns, because your 4th string is 1 octave higher than mine. We're going to start by taking a look at the chords in this song and how to play them. Now typically when the chords are listed, they're shown in the order that they appear throughout the song. For this song, I chose to list the chords in alphabetical order for something different. So let me know down below in the comments if this is helpful or if you prefer the standard way of seeing the chords as they appear in the song. Our first chord is A minor. Now our standard A minor chord is the 2nd fret of the 4th string. In this song, we're going to move into an A minor chord from another chord where we already have our pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So if you'd like, you can leave your pinky in this position to play A minor. You can choose between this fingering or the standard A minor fingering. Our next chord is C, which is the 3rd fret of the 1st string. In this song, because of the chords that we moved to from our C chord, I'm going to play C using my ring finger and sometimes using my pinky. Next we have C7, which is the 1st fret of the 1st string. Then we have C augmented, where we're going back to our C chord and adding the 1st fret of the 4th string. And our final C chord is C major 7. This is the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Our next chord is E minor. I'm playing this chord with my index finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and my ring finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. After this we have our F chord. I'm playing F with my index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string and my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Next we have F minor. Here I have my index and middle fingers on the 1st fret of strings 4 and 2, and my pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Then we have our G chord. For G, I have my index and middle fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 3 and 1, and my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And then our final chord is G7. Here I have my index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string and my middle and ring fingers on the 2nd fret of strings 3 and 1. Throughout this song, you'll find the chords, lyrics, and patterns on screen. If you'd like to download a PDF of the song sheet, you can do so from my Patreon page, along with my songbook that covers all of the songs that I've shared in my tutorials. You'll find the link down below in the video description. Our first pattern is an easy down strum on every beat. pattern and how to apply it to our song introduction. Our first pattern is a down strum on every beat, so the count is 1, 2, 3, 4. In the introduction of our song, we'll play any of our 4 patterns one time on C, C7, F, and G7. So using our first easy strumming pattern on our introduction looks like this. We can apply this pattern throughout the song on all of the chords that are held for 4 beats. Our second strumming pattern is a bit more difficult than the first. We can also add some fun optional percussion to this pattern. Let's take a close look at this pattern and how to apply it to our first verse. Here's our second pattern played slowly on a C chord. The strumming here is down, 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 up, down. Down, 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 up, down. The second and third down strums are played more softly than the others. Here you may only catch the bottom 2 or 3 strings. The rhythm of this pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now bringing this pattern up to the tempo of this song sounds like this. Now to make it even more fun, we can add in an optional percussion sound or a knock on the side of the instrument on our third beat. Here's how this sounds. Breaking this down slowly with the percussion looks like this. Down, 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 knock, up, down. Now taking a look at our first verse, we're starting off with a beautiful and easy chord progression on line 1, starting on our C chord, then going to C major 7, then to C7, and then to F. So we can play each of our C chords with our ring, middle, and index fingers to play frets 3, 2, and 1. And then we go to our F chord. In line 2, we're going to our F minor chord, and then to C. So when we go from F minor to C, we'll keep our pinky down on the 3rd fret of the 1st string and lift up our index and middle fingers. Then we go to our G chord, and we finish on G7. We're going to apply any of our 4 patterns one time to each chord in the verses. So as an example, taking our second strumming pattern and applying it to line 1 of the verses will look like this. Now I'll play through the entire first verse, adding in the lyrics, and I'll use the percussion on the first line. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. If you're enjoying this tutorial, please give this video a thumbs up. And if this is your first time visiting my channel, then welcome. I hope you're enjoying my teaching style, and I would love for you to subscribe. Next is pattern 3, which is a finger-picking pattern. Let's take a look at this beautiful pattern and how to apply it to our pre-chorus. Here's our third pattern, played slowly on a C chord. starting by picking strings 4 and 1 together with my thumb and ring finger. Then I'm picking string 3 with my index finger, string 2 with my middle finger, back to string 4, then down to 1, then to 3, and finishing on string 2. The rhythm of this pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Bringing this pattern up to the tempo of the song will sound like this. Now taking a look at our pre-chorus that comes after the first verse. Our pre-chorus consists of 4 chords that are held for 4 beats each, so we can apply any of our 4 patterns one time to each chord. For the chord progression in the pre-chorus, we're starting on C, and I'm using my pinky to play this chord so that I can easily reach the first fret of the 4th string for the C augmented chord that comes next. Then we have our A minor chord, so I'm lifting up my index finger and placing down my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. You can either leave your pinky in place, or you can lift it up to play A minor. They're both A minor chords, just different versions. Finally, we have our C7 chord, so we're placing down our index finger on the 1st string. Applying our 3rd pattern to these 4 chords will look like this. And now I'll add in the lyrics. When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know everything's alright. Now we've come to our 4th and final pattern. Let's break this one down and look at how to apply it to our chorus. Here's our 4th pattern, played slowly on a C chord. I'm starting by playing strings 1 and 2 together with my middle and ring fingers. Then I'm playing string 4 with my thumb, string 3 with my index finger, back to strings 1 and 2 together, then to string 4, and finishing with string 3. The rhythm of this pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Bringing this pattern up to the tempo of this song will sound like this. Now taking a look at our chorus, we're going to hold each of our chords for 4 beats until we get to the C chord in line 3. So for all of the chords through the G7 at the beginning of line 3, we can apply any of our 4 patterns one time to each chord. As an example, applying our 4th pattern, we're starting on F, and then we go to G7. Now for this particular G7 chord, I like to pick all 4 strings on the first beat rather than playing the full pattern. This really emphasizes the beginning of the chorus. If you're using one of the strumming patterns to play the chorus, then another option is to play a down strum on beat 1 of this G7 chord. For example, if we're using our 2nd strumming pattern to start the chorus. Now continuing on with our 4th pattern, after G7 we go to C, then to G7 in line 2, then to F, and then back to G7 at the beginning of line 3. Now we've held each of our chords through this G7 chord for 4 beats each. The remaining 4 chords in line 3 to finish the chorus are held for only 2 beats each. So we're going to pick all 4 strings on each of these chords, starting with C, then going to E minor, then to F, and then to G7. If we're playing the chorus using a strumming pattern, then we'll do a down strum on each of these 4 chords, starting with C, then to E minor, then to F, and then to G7. Here's how it looks to play through the entire chorus, adding in the lyrics, using our 4th pattern. I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. After our chorus comes 2 more verses, followed by a pre-chorus, another chorus, and 1 more pre-chorus. All of these sections are played the exact same way as the first verse, pre-chorus, and chorus that we've already covered in our lesson. The chord progressions are exactly the same, and all of the chords are held for the same number of beats as what we've already covered. Now after our final pre-chorus, the chorus is played 3 more times to finish the song. These are played a bit differently than our first chorus, so let's take a look at the differences here and how to end the song. In our 3rd chorus, lines 1 and 2 are played the same way as our first chorus. When we get to line 3, we're starting on our G7 chord. So to make this easy, we'll use our first strumming pattern. Then we go to our C chord for 2 beats, or just 1 down strum, and then the same with E minor. Now moving into our F and G7 chords for 2 beats each, we're actually starting the beginning of the 4th chorus. So we'll play F, and then G7, and then we'll go back to our pattern on C. Now adding in the lyrics for this transition. That you're in love with me. I'm hooked on a feeling. The transition from our 4th into our 5th chorus is exactly the same as what we did from our 3rd into our 4th chorus. For our 5th and final chorus, the very last line is played the same way as the last line of our first chorus. We're just adding 1 final C chord to end the song. So we start this final line with our G7 chord, playing any of our patterns 1 time. Then we do a down strum on C, or we can pick all 4 strings. The same on E minor, then to F, G7, and 1 final down strum on C. If you'd like, you can make this more beautiful by playing an arpeggio, nice and slow through all 4 strings. So adding in the lyrics to this final line, that you're in love with me. Next we're moving into our play along, where I'm going to play through the entire song, alternating between all 4 patterns. Feel free to choose just 1 pattern to play along with me, or if you'd like, you can also alternate between some of the patterns. I'm going to play this instrumental only, so you can really hear how I transition back and forth between the different patterns. The chords and lyrics will be on screen, so if you'd like, you can sing along. 5, 6, 7, 8. enjoyed learning these 4 wonderful ways to play Hooked on a Feeling. Have fun practicing, and thanks for watching.